guys, this is the start of our first Halloween vlog. I'm going to get some thrillery mystery books to you guys in October because that's all I'm reading. Ignore the blue in my hair. I was painting yesterday and of course I'm messy, so I got it all over my hair and it's gonna be here until I wash my hair, but I actually should kind of get to washing my hair tomorrow, so it might be going tomorrow. Anyways, this is a Ruth Ware video. This is a Ruth Ware video. I am committed to finding the thriller authors for me, finding the thriller books for me, and Ruth Ware is just one of those authors you gotta read from if you read thrillers. The issue with this is that I have read Run Ruth Ware. I read One by One. A lot of people hated that book, but I thought it to be perfectly fine. And so I went and I purchased a bunch of Ruth Ware novels that I just didn't get to. But we know, I keep saying it in every video, 2023 is about me reading the books that I bought for no goddamn reason. And that is me with Ruth Ware. So I have decided I'm going to read 3 Ruth Ware books. And if I give at least one of these 4 stars, at least one of them 4 stars, I will read the next one. And if I give the next one 4 stars, I will then read all 5 of these. But if I don't, then I won't. Or if I run out of time, I won't. So what we are going to be reading 100% in this video is Ruth Ware, The It Girl. This is not the most recent Ruth Ware. I don't own the most recent Ruth Ware. The most recent Ruth Ware is 0 Days, but this is the book that came out last year from Ruth Ware. It was 30% off at Barnes, and I knew I was going to do this video, so I picked it up, which is something I would never do today. I would never pick up a thriller that's not discounted to $7 at this point. I don't pay full price for thrillers anymore, but last year I guess I was that person, and I guess I didn't pay full price. I got 30% off, but that's still like $15. I still paid about $15, $16 for it. I would not pay $16 for a thriller today, but I'm a different person now. But I did buy this, and it's right here. It's kind of thick. She's thick and long. The next thing we are going to read is The Lying Game. This is the first book we are going to read from this game. We are going to read this. And then we are going to read The Woman in Cabin 10 because I believe this is the Ruth Ware that put Ruth Ware on the map. So, of course, I got to give Ruth Ware her fair shot, and I'm going to read The Woman in Cabin 10. So that is that. Now, if you care what we're going to get to if we read it, we have The Death of Miss Westaway, and we have The Turn of the Key. What I appreciate about Ruth Ware is that all of these books seem to be really, really different. And so I can appreciate you like not trying to do the same thing all of the time. So anyways, that's what we're gonna read. I'll talk to you guys later though.
Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the vlog where I discuss Ruth Ware, The Lying Game. I am halfway through this book. So in this book, we are following a group of friends. There is a dog at the beginning who recovers a body, and basically that drops us into the story about these 4 girls. These 4 girls who went to a boarding school. They got kicked out of the boarding school for reasons, but one of the girls who was a part of this friend group, she sends out a text message to everyone and it's like, I need you, and that kind of triggers something for everyone because those words are what they used back when they were kids, when they would get in trouble. So all of the girls meet back up in this town where the boarding school is, with this girl named Kayla, because there's a party going on, like a reunion going on at the school. And because they are all meeting up, it is bringing back old secrets. These girls used to play a game together called The Lying Game, where they all used to get points if they told lies to each other. And that kind of got them in a bunch of shit. Well, back in the day, they all did something, and we are reading the story to figure out what they did. So when the story begins, you don't really know anything. You're going back in time to when they were at the boarding school, and then you're in the now where they're back in this town. I usually do not like books where like information is being purposefully withheld from you in order for you to remain intrigued. Like there's obviously a secret that the characters are keeping, but the author is not telling you it, so you remain like the suspense remains. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm enjoying The Lion Game. The Lion Game is reminding me of The Last to Vanish by Megan Miranda. Most people do not like The Last to Vanish by Megan Miranda because they think it's boring and it's long and it's drawn out. So a lot of people DNF it, and I could see that. But this might be like an unpopular thing about me, which is pretty much my reading period. I enjoy kind of character-driven thrillers. I like thrillers where we are following a complex story about interesting characters. My problem with a thriller, usually locked room thrillers, is that there's these group of characters and it's not as complex as it wants to be. The characters are not interesting. What they got into is never that interesting. And so that's why I have an issue with that. But if you give me a novel where we are just following a character or characters in a town, there's secrets, there's lies, and it's just meaty, the characters are meaty, and we're just going through, and I wouldn't say it's suspenseful, but slowly you start to peel back the layers of the onion. I love that. I don't know what it is, just getting into a story where we're kind of building a world and we're building these characters, and all of these characters act really predictably because we built really interesting characters and we understand them. I love that. I love getting thrown into a town or into some place and just hearing about the complex lives of certain individuals. It's the reason why I love domestic thrillers. And so this is that. I can see why a lot of people would find this to be really boring because not much is actually happening. We've had some reveals in it, but mostly you're just following these characters and you're getting into the mind of these characters who make poor decisions and how they all come together. This is reminding me of the book, The Things We Do to Our Friends as well. It kind of has that deal going on. What I think I appreciate with Ruth Ware, I remember this in One by One. There's a simple way you can tell a story like this, because I know where this story is going. I pretty much know the beats because this is an older thriller. And same with One by One. But Ruth Ware, she takes the path of most resistance to tell the stories that she chooses to tell. Like, she makes the characters complex in a way that other thriller authors wouldn't. I feel like Ruth Ware doesn't take necessarily the cheap way out to tell a story. Like, she puts as much effort into like the thriller or the suspense aspect of it as she does her characters. Like, she's not trying to beat you over the head or shock you. She's just trying to tell an interesting story. And I think it works for some people, other times it doesn't. But this story is complex in a way that it doesn't have to be. The characters in this book don't have to have the depth that they have. It's just a choice that Ruth Ware made to give them depth. And I appreciate it because I am a plot girly and I am a character girly. Those are my two things. I need characters and I need plot. If you give me a nice juicy plot but I think the characters are ridiculous, I cannot do it. And if you give me good characters but like I think they're doing absolutely nothing in it, I cannot do it. I need both of those things and I need it to be nice and meaty. And that's what this is giving me. I like being thrown into a town. Some people, it's so interesting. Some people, it's the reason why I can't get on board with the cozy fantasy train. Like, Legends and Lattes is so fucking boring. I'm sorry. Like the characters just weren't enough. They weren't doing enough. The plot was non-existent. I can't get on board. Like, I need nice, thick characters. And I need nice, juicy plots, you know? I need depth. I need it to feel like these characters existed before I came along to read their story. That's what I am. Those are my two things. I love a good character. I love a good character. I can follow it's the reason why I love literary fiction, because literary fiction is all about the characters. Like, and it's the reason why I love literary fiction, because I just love a good character and a moment in time. A moment in time reading about a good character who gets up to hijinks. I love it. Hello, you guys. Welcome back. I am on my way to the tailor's
Do any of you guys take your clothes to the cleaners or the tailors and you let them hoes sit there for months? My clothes have been at the tailors for like a month and a half, like just waiting on me, and they just called me and I feel so bad. They're like, are you gonna come today? I'm coming today, let me go get them. But I do need to tell you guys about both of the books that I have been reading, one that I finished and one that I have been reading. So we started with The Lying Game by Ruth Ware. I have both of the books in the car with me, so I have to go get some cash, so I'm gonna go to the bank and then I'll tell you guys about The Lying Game, okay? Okay, I can talk to you guys right now. Let's discuss The Lying Game. I found this book to be a really interesting ride. I really like the characters. I like the idea of this girl group coming back together. I like this story taking place at a boarding school and this like town where strange things happen. And I also like there being kind of a mystery that we didn't know about, which is really surprising because I usually don't like that about books where like our characters have done something and it's being withheld from the reader what they did. But I thought this was done well. Like, it made sense that we weren't told what they did. And then when we finally do, I thought it was really, really interesting. My problem is I think this book goes on for a little bit too long. It overstays its welcome and it stops being interesting. And so when you get to the ending, I wasn't expecting this big dramatic ending, but when we get to the ending, because I feel like the story had drawn out for so long, I did want something dramatic to happen. I guess what I'm saying is towards the end, I did start to get bored. I understand why this book isn't for everyone because it is boring. It's a slow ride, but I enjoy thrillers that are slow rides as long as the character and plot is good. And I thought the plot was good. I enjoyed this more than I thought I would. And it really showed me I can like Ruth Ware's writing. I really enjoyed Ruth Ware's writing. I think that's what kept me reading the book, enjoying the way that Ruth Ware tells stories. She comes up with these complex characters that feel like they could be real people. That's why we get into the next book that I want to discuss with you guys. It Girl by Ruth Ware. This is Ruth Ware's book that she came out with last year. She put out 0 Days this year. This is the book she put out last year. And in this book, we are following two girls that go to Oxford. And that's kind of the before timeline. So just like in The Lying Game, there's a before and there's an after timeline. We have the before timeline with these two girls who are best friends. They're college roommates and they're at Oxford. You have one girl, she is very popular. She comes from money and she's a it girl. And then we have our main character. She is not that. She comes from a working class family. She got into Oxford just by merit. She's not rich. And basically our it girl, she ends up being strangled to death by this guy. Well, in the current timeline, this guy has just died in jail because he has always like said he was innocent. And so he never got to go get an appeal, or now he did get an appeal. He never got to be let out early because he always said he didn't do it. He didn't show any remorse. So they're not going to let him out of jail. And so he died in jail. Well, everything is coming back because someone believes that he was wrongly convicted. That's an issue because our main character, the best friend of the it girl that got strangled and died, she was the one who said that the guy who's in jail was the one who did it. So this opens up this can of worms. What happened at Oxford? How did this girl die? And is everyone telling the truth? I am enjoying this book. Let me pull into the bank. I am really, really enjoying this book. I am surprised that this book wasn't loved by more people last year. Even if this book doesn't turn out to end the way I want it to end, I do think there's an ending to this book that is really predictable, and maybe that's why people don't like it, because it might go down the predictable route. But even if that's the ending I think is the predictable ending, I wouldn't mind. This is really, really good to me. I am enjoying the characters. I'm enjoying the world. I love the idea of this friendship and maybe one being jealous of the other. I like this idea of like her being with the girl's boyfriend in the current timeline. I like all of it. I like the idea of the guy being dead who's in jail. There's a whole world being built here that I think is really, really interesting. And also, what I like about Ruth Ware's stories is not only are the characters good, but the world is good. There's also something really like plausible about the thrillers, and some people may find it boring because they're so rooted in, I think, a reality in some way. Like, they're not outlandish. Like, some stuff, obviously, for the sake of it being a thriller is a little like, okay, but like, I've read some crazy ass thrillers that don't make no goddamn sense. Her thrillers usually, like, they're grounded in, I think, a reality that you can, like, you know, sink your teeth into. And so I'm enjoying this book, and I can't believe that this book wasn't more enjoyed by more people, because I am really enjoying the hell out of this book. I had to move out of the way of the ATM because somebody was coming. But yeah, I'm surprised more people didn't like this book. Now, I could say I read for a really long time yesterday because I haven't been feeling good lately. I don't know what it is. But I read for a really long time, and I still only made it to page 224. So this book is really, really long. And, like, I don't think a thriller needs to be more than 350 pages. 370 if I like you. So maybe that's the issue. I'm sorry it's bright over here. It's trying to focus on me. But it's really bright outside today. So anyways, though, that's what we're reading. I am going to finish this today, hopefully. I think I'm gonna watch some TV and just try to read this, and then I will move on to the next book because I'm enjoying Ruth Ware. I'm enjoying Ruth Ware more than I thought I would. It makes, like, I think, oh, by the way, did I tell you guys I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 stars? I'm giving this 3.5 out of 5 stars. This is shaping up to be a 4 or 5 star read. I doubt it's a 5. I don't think I've given a single thriller except one thriller this entire year 5 stars. So I doubt it'll hit that. But I do think we could come close. We could come close. So we will see. This is a better angle, even though you can see my steering wheel. But I am enjoying this book, and I will talk to you guys a little bit later. Now there's like hella people in the ATM line, but that's fine, because I haven't even moved no money into my bank account. How are you guys? How is everyone's Halloween going? Let me talk to you guys for a little bit. I watched the first Saw. So I have a sister, and she is a huge Saw, like Saw the movies, Jigsaw. She is a huge Saw fan, and she has always told me to watch Saw because every Halloween I watch Halloween movies. And she was like, girl, you gotta watch Saw. Like, you'll really like Saw. And the issue with that is I don't like scary movies at all. I don't want to see your Conjuring. I don't want to see your Insidious. I don't want to see a Nun. I don't want to see none of that. Like, that's just not my thing. A day well spent is not a day where I am literally frightened as hell, jump scared to death. I don't want it. You got it. So I don't do that. But I was like, my sister, I had this thing where, like, if people in my life like something, I don't care if it's not something I'm into. I'm going to go out of my way and try to enjoy that thing. Like, see if I enjoy that thing, because I just think, like, that's part of creating bonds with people. As I get older, I just believe life is all about community, and life is all about just, you know, being, you know, I don't know, there for people who you love. Like, I don't know, having connections with people. So therefore, if someone who I love likes something and they like something a lot, I am going to go out of my way to see what that thing is about. And many of the things that I love is because of that. For example, my sister, one of my older sisters has always loved Gilmore Girls. She loved Gilmore Girls back when I was really, really little. We used to share a room, and she used to watch Gilmore Girls on ABC Family every single day. And so that's what made me get into Gilmore Girls, because I was just like, my sister likes this thing. But my sister also loves Seventh Heaven, and I hated Seventh Heaven. So, like, that's just a thing that I like to do. I like to like things that my siblings liked. Therefore, she told me to watch Saw, so I watched Saw last night, and I really enjoyed it. See, I really enjoyed it. And now tonight, I'm gonna watch Saw 2. I'm gonna watch Saw 2. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to do that. So that's been my life. It was gory in a sense, but it was like more like obviously psychological than anything else. So the goriness didn't like hurt me in any way. It wasn't like a scary movie. I have seen Spiral, that shitty ass Chris Rock saw, and absolutely despised it. So there's that on that. Other than that, that's all I've been doing. I washed my hair yesterday. It's the reason why I'm not taking this scarf off till I'm actually leaving somewhere. I kind of want to go out for drinks today. No alcoholic teas, but I have been wanting like a cocktail. I never am one of those people who like want to drink. Like that's just not me. But yesterday I was just sitting at home and I'm like, I want a margarita. I want a margarita. So like I might like go like bowling or something, or go to Dave and Buster's. That'll be fun. Or I might just go to a damn restaurant and do that. Maybe I can go to a restaurant for lunch right now. But anyways, I need to hurry up and get this money because, child, it's too much. It's too much. But how's you guys' October going? Anyways, I will talk to you guys later when I finish it, girl. Peace. Hello, you guys. I'm coming to give you guys my final thoughts on The It Girl by Ruth Ware. I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I enjoyed this book. I can't imagine why people hate this book so much outside of it being long, but Ruth Ware just writes long novels. Like, I mean, One by One was pretty long. The Lying Game was long. This book is long. So, like, of the 3 Ruth Ware books that I've read my entire life, all of them have been long. The Women in Cabin 10, which we're reading next, is not that long. But yeah, I guess it's long and maybe some people find it boring, but I'm going to be honest with you. As far as mystery books go, where it's not following a detective, I really enjoyed this. You guys know the number one thing I do not like in thriller and mystery novels is amateur sleuthing. I do not like it when our main character just drops everything that they're doing and becomes a sleuth. But Ruth Ware was able to do it in a way that I actually enjoyed it. I think what I enjoyed about this one was the stakes behind it, the reasoning behind why Hannah was looking into the murder of her friend. She put someone in jail. She said that someone killed her friend, so she's having this guilt, and she wants to know what happened to her friend and if she sent the wrong person to jail. So it felt like there were reasons, and I didn't feel like things were happening too convenient. She was getting ideas about stuff out of nowhere, because oftentimes when a character is amateur sleuthing, they literally all of a sudden become like an agent of the CIA. All of a sudden they know how to hack into things. They know all types of things, even though before they were doing this sleuthing, they didn't know nothing about nothing. They were barely like coherent, but now they know everything about everything, and all of a sudden clues are just falling from thin air, and I don't enjoy that. Something about that is very cheap. But that didn't feel that way in this novel. Everything that our main character uncovers, you're able to follow them to it. It got to a point where like I would literally stop reading and like try to put some clues together myself, which is rare in a mystery novel. Most mystery novels, I just like to see things, B, like, I don't get too, like, attached to, like, what's going on. I just, like, get the story and go. But in this one, I was stopping to be not, if Will say he was here, if Ruth say he was here, if this person, if Emily was over here, if the tutor was over, like, I was over here doing my own sleuthing. And that is because Ruth Ware, for me, did a really good job at creating this world. I enjoyed it. Once again, just like in the Lion Game, we had this before and after timeline. And if I had to take points, because I am going to give this book 4.5 out of 5 stars, I do think we could have gotten more scenes in the after, so when everything wraps up, I think it wraps up tighter. I could see some people having issues with the ending. The thing is, I don't know if it's because I read a lot of mystery thriller. I don't put too much on the endings of mystery thrillers. Like, I know it sounds crazy to say that because, like, most people read a mystery and thriller and how it ends really, really matters to them. I actually am the complete opposite of that. I am more so invested in the ride. That's why I don't really like quote unquote cheap thrillers. I think that book, The Perfect Marriage, I think would be considered a cheap thriller to me. Verity by Colleen Hoover, I think that Housemaid book, those are what I would consider cheap thrillers. Really like more popcorny thrillers where like it's all about the big reveals and the big jumps and the big plot twists. I love those things in books, don't get me wrong, but I would much rather have a nice meaty story, like just have different characters on the board, and through that we get these big reveals. Some thriller mystery novels are all about reveals, twists, tricking you, and there's a time and a place for that. I don't think there's an issue with those types of books. It's just not how I want to spend my day. And then you have novels like this where there is a mystery. You are going to get reveals and stuff in here, but they're far and few in between, More so you're reading a story about this person and there's mystery and you're really supposed to get attached to the characters. You're supposed to get attached to the world. You're supposed to think about certain things. Another thing I want to give this book credit for, this book I think intentionally has some good commentary on true crime culture. I do not like true crime culture, and this book kind of plays on that idea, this idea that no one discusses, or even the people who discuss it don't discuss it thoughtfully. The people who are left behind after these true crime murders. For this book, what I think does interestingly is oftentimes you have your true crime podcasts and stuff. They like to say that, oh, this person didn't actually commit this murder. It could have been X, Y, and Z. And they try to crack the case for themselves, and they don't think about the people who they are harming when they do this. There is someone who probably was a key witness to put this person behind bars, and there's no proof that they did that, woo, my camera's falling. There's no proof that they did that with any ill will. So when you're sitting there saying certain people were lying on the stand or certain people were doing this, and this, you're not doing it in good faith. You're doing it for content. You're doing it for spectacle. It'd be one thing if you actually were doing it to get someone who was wrongfully convicted out of jail, but that's not what you're doing it for. You're doing it for spectacle. And you believe your spectacle, your entertainment, your podcast is worth more than these people's lives who are actually affected by these terrible, terrible, unfortunate events. And that's my biggest issue with true crime podcasts, true crime content. They don't think about the people. Even the ones who think that they're doing it in good faith, they think they're being thoughtful when they do it. There's something that they're not missing. They're missing not just the person who was murdered, but they're missing the ripple effects of people who are all the people who are affected when something tragic happens. Those are the people they are not taking in consideration. Everyone a part of that case is a part of this, and that's who you're not thinking about. You're not thinking about the person who gave the smoking gun witness, who was the smoking gun witness. You're not thinking about this person, this person, this person. And it'd be one thing, like I said, if you were doing it because you want to get somebody out of jail, but that's not why you're doing it. You don't care if that killer in jail, if that killer not in jail. You don't care about the actual beings of people. You care about the spectacle. You care about the fun of it. It's fun to feel like, you're being a conspiracy theorist. That's what you're doing it for. And you're hiding it behind I'm just trying to get to the truth. But just as well as I do, you don't care about the truth. You care about having fun. People's lives, playing in people's lives, having commentary on people's lives, conspiracy theorists on people's lives. is fun. And that's why you're doing it. And that, I think this book really has interesting commentary on that. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's my favorite Ruth Ware thus far. I think it has the good aspects of The Lion Game, where it has a good world, I think good characters, and then it like has like the mystery element of a maybe one by one. No, it's just like The Lion Game. It's just like it's literally almost the same book as The Lion Game almost. It's just, I think, faster pace, which is crazy because this has so many pages. But I think it has a more of a bounce to it than The Lion Game. The Lion Game, I think, has a very specific audience. I think the It Girl can be liked by a lot of people. I'm surprised people didn't like that book. Anyways, I have not picked a book of the month box in a really long time because I haven't been liking their selections. Like, I don't understand why Jada's book wasn't an October pick. Like, the Happy Place wasn't a pick. Like, I just feel like some of the big releases they haven't had this year. I think they did a really good job with thrillers this year. Like, you could have gotten the Riley Sager, you could have gotten the Taylor Adams, you could have gotten the Lisa Jewell. Like, they had some good thriller releases. But I don't like to really waste my book of the month on thrillers, even though I'm about to show you a thriller that I got. But it's just because I have so many credits. So I was just like, let me do an add-on. But I did get 2 books. One book I've never heard of before, but I like the synopsis well enough. I got to use the credits. And then the other one is a thriller. So let's talk about the one I've never heard of. It's huge. Oh my God, why would I do this? Why would I do this? I don't like big books. I never talk about what like I really like in books and what I don't like in books because I'm trying to find my taste really as an adult. But one thing I do not like is big books. Like, even this book I think was 400 and yeah, this book was 416 pages. 419 pages. This book went. And that was too damn long for me. Ruth Ware, wrap it up. I don't want to read a book that's more than 400 pages. I really like to tap out at about 370. This feels like Babel. This feels, please tell me that, in the words not even that big, this feels like Daughter of the Moon Goddess. No. So this might be getting unhauled. They might have lost their mind on this. I don't have it in me to read long books. What is this about? When Jack and Elizabeth meet as college students in the 90s, the two quickly join forces and hold on tight. Okay, I read the synopsis, and the synopsis has kind of like made me rethink not wanting to read it. This is why I bought it. This is a marriage story. I love marriage stories. I love stories about mothers and daughters, and I love stories about marriages that are not good. And that's what this book is about. This book is about 2 people who meet in college. They both, have all these dreams and aspirations. As time goes forward, they kind of lose their like love for one another. They lose their, zest for one another, and they're trying to figure out like how to get to a good place. It is written by a man, and that kind of loses me because I usually like my marriage stories to be written by women. But I'm not gonna take no points off there. It says this is like the blurb, the seller. A witty and poignant new novel about modern marriage, the often baffling pursuit of health and happiness, and the stories that bind us together. I hate to say it, that sounds right up my alley. Let's discuss the page count. Oh my God. This book is tapping out at 600 pages. Oh no. This book is tapping out at 600 pages. Luckily, you guys can't see because my lighting, it's nighttime, but the cover's gorgeous. If I read it, it's going to look so pretty on my shelf. But good God, is it bulky. Wellness. I don't like long books. And as I get older, I like long books even less. And then I picked Lisa Jewell's None of This Is True. This book has been sitting at the top of the New York Times bestseller thriller category for a while. I've heard really great things about this. Have I read a Lisa Jewell? Why do I feel like I've read a Lisa Jewell? What is Lisa Jewell known for? It's about a famous podcaster, Lisa Jewell. Have I read The Family Upstairs? Then she was gone the night she disappeared. I think I read The Family Upstairs. I'm lying. I don't know. Lisa Jewell. I told you I don't buy thrillers, but I lied. I did. I also want to get my hands on Riley Sager's book. If I made a list of my favorite covers this year, I might do a video. Because I haven't done like a sit-down talk video on this channel in a minute. My favorite covers of the year, Riley Sager on the whatever it's called. It's such a good cover. This is probably my favorite cover of the year. It looks so good in person. Every time I go to the bookstore, I just want to bite the bullet and purchase it, but I don't purchase books anymore. It is my birthday, so I will be doing a purchase of books, but Riley Sager isn't on that list. I've had all year, well, at least the last like 4 months, I've had what I was going to buy in this haul, and this is my last book buying of the year. I will not be purchasing any more books, and then next year I'm going to be even more stingy with the books that I buy, but I just think I did really good on book buying this year, especially compared to last year. Last year I was buying any and everything I wanted. This year I really have been thinking about what I have been purchasing. So anyways, that's that on that. We're going to read The Woman in Cabin 10, and yeah, then we're going to wrap this video up, okay? Peace. Anyways, I have a clothing haul. So I am in my chunky sweater era. So I went to Ralph Lauren because I'm looking for full-length sweaters. It is so hard to find full-length sweater. By the way, I know you shouldn't hang up your knitwear, but you're not my mama and you can't like I'm sorry. I want to hang up my knitwear. I don't want to put it in the little, I'm sorry. But anyways, I'm looking for full-length sweaters because I want full-length sweaters. So I got this one from Ralph Lauren. Look at this big neck. Oh my God, it's going to be so much fun. This is going to be so much fucking fun to wear. So I got it in white. And I got it in black, and I got it in extra large for like the hang off of you effect. That's another reason why I don't mind hanging up my knitwear, because if you're threatening me because the knitwear is going to stretch out, that's literally my dream. So it doesn't bother me. And then I got it in black. So that's just my idea, and it's just such good quality. Like, it's not 90s good quality, and I'm really bad at thrifting. If the problem with me in thrifting is if I get into a thrifting era, I got them in large, by the way, I lied, they're in large. If I get into a thrifting era, I don't have any self-control, and I'll keep buying things that I can thrift. Like, there's no stopping me, because I'm just like, ooh, it's thrifted. So like, I can't get into thrifting because I don't have self-control. So let me wait. I have more sweaters that I believe came. I'm going to see what those are about. So 1 second. The next place, Topshop. I have never really purchased anything off Topshop. But on my sweater discovery, I ran into Topshop and was gagged by their options. I had to literally stop myself from buying more stuff. Look at this. A full-length sweater. And look how thick. Goodness. So good. I got it in a large. Yeah. What else you want me to say? Look at this. It's cute, isn't it? Boom. And then this one is what I'm going to wear to the pumpkin patch next week. So go pick me out a pumpkin, because it's just so on theme. I'm not a colorful person when it comes to sweaters, but I just couldn't say no to this one. Oh my God, I couldn't say no. I could not say no. I don't really wear orange, but I'm going to start. This is so cool. And the only issue is It's very much so something you would just wear in October and November. But I don't think that's an issue, having a couple pieces that are just for like 2 specific months, especially if like maybe every single time you go out you wear it. That's another thing I want people to get more comfortable with. Wearing the same goddamn outfit on different week, like on the same continuously. Like there's this idea that, so let's say this is a sweater I'm gonna wear in October and November. Wear it every single time you go out in October and November. There is no issue in having a uniform. Having something that you specifically wear just not every single day, but every time you don't go out every single day. Every single time you go out, that's like where you would wear a sweater, you wear the same sweater. That's another issue with why so many people sit up here and be like, I deserve to buy Shein. You got too many damn clothes. You have too many damn clothes. Like, you believe you deserve to wear a new outfit every single day of every single weekend. That's just not the truth. It is okay to wear the same outfit all throughout October. To have a uniform where you wear this maybe with a different pair of jeans, or wear it with a different, like maybe even put some tights under this and a boot. Like, dress up and dress down your pieces. Like, it's okay that this is pretty much an October and November sweater. If I wear it every single weekend in October and November, I've gotten my wears out of this. I think we're moving away from this idea of having a uniform, and we shouldn't. It's okay to have a uniform. Wear something continuously. Number one, you don't have to wash stuff every time you wear it, unless like you stink. And two, I just think people overconsume. I overconsume, like, and that's just something I'm becoming more conscious about. I'm becoming more conscious about where I purchase things from, the materials that things are, and how often I use the things that I have. Like, the shirts in your closet, the sweaters and stuff, they should be used all of the time. There's just shit, like, they should be constantly in rotation. Your stuff should be constantly in rotation, because what else is it for? To collect dust? So yeah, I'm gonna wear that literally every time I go out. Like, literally, I have someplace to go this weekend. I'm going to wear that this weekend. Now, unfortunately, the same people gonna be at both the events I got this weekend, so like I won't wear both of them. But guess what? I'm gonna wear it again to the pumpkin patch, and then I'm gonna wear it again to the dinner we going to the next day after. Like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna wear this in the next 2 weeks. I'm probably gonna wear that sweater 5 times. I'm probably gonna wear that sweater 5 times in the next 2 weeks, getting my wears out of it. And when things are good quality, you should be able to do that. Anyways, the woman in cabin 10. So in this book, we are following a woman who is going on a cruise because she works for this magazine that does reviews for like cruise ships and all types of hospitality things. And so the person who like usually goes on these fancy trips, she is pregnant, and so she's on, pregnancy leave. So our main character is going. Before our main character goes, someone breaks into her apartment and steals some stuff from her. So she's been having a hard time sleeping. She's really, really paranoid. Her boyfriend asked her to move in with him, but she didn't want to do that because of reasons. And so she thinks her and her boyfriend are like on the outs now. They might be breaking up, but she don't have time to think about that because she has to go on this cruise. And that's pretty much, so when she's on this cruise, she believes things are happening, people are drinking. She meets this girl in cabin 10. And basically the girl in cabin 10 gives her some mascara. They have a really fleeting conversation, and the girl in cabin 10 ends up giving her mascara, and she's like, okay, that's cool, that's fair, that's nice. So they go to this dinner that everyone on the ship goes to, but this girl isn't at it, but our main character doesn't think anything of it. Well, when she goes back to her room for the night, after a few glasses of wine and maybe a shot or two, she hears a dead body hit the ocean, and she's like, that was weird. So she goes out to like her balcony, and she sees blood and everything coming from cabin 10. So she calls the police, and she's just like, the police on the cruise ship, and she's just like, yeah, some weird stuff just happened in the cabin next to me. And the person is just like, okay, we'll come up there. They come up there and there's no trace of any of this happening. There's no trace that there's a woman who lives next to her because that cabin is empty. Cabin 10 is supposed to be empty. There's no trace of the girl who gave her the mascara. They don't even know who she's talking about. And there's definitely no blood on the terrace. So they're like, girl, you're lying. So our main character is trying to figure out, well, what the fuck happened then last night? What was the dead body? What was the blood? What was the girl? If y'all saying this don't exist. And that starts our book. We have one issue off jump. I thought this took place in the middle of the woods. I thought this took place in the middle of the woods. Why are we calling things cabins? I'm sorry, I'm American. When you say the woman in cabin 10, I am thinking y'all are at a campground and there's cabins and you in cabin 10. I never once thought anything about the sea and the ocean. And what's crazy is this picture is of the ocean. This is literally a window to a cruise ship. I thought this was snow. I thought this was snow. I thought they were in the cabin in the woods with snow. Baby, they on the ocean. So that's where you lost me. And another issue with this book is, I already told you guys, I don't like locked room mysteries. The only way I like locked room mysteries is if there's a detective involved, because I do like detective stories. Unpopular opinion, I like detective stories. I don't like locked room mysteries. I do not like it when a bunch of people are in one place, something happened, there's different characters who could all be a part of what happened, and we're trying to figure out what is going on, and no one can leave this location. It's just really boring to me. It's hard for me to keep up with the characters, and I quickly lose interest. So that's what we have right here, and I was not expecting that. I kind of expected this to be like this wilderness adventure type of thing, kind of locked room, but not fully, but this is full-on locked room. I'm just not fully into this story. So because our main character, she, all the signs of the woman she thought she saw are not there anymore. She's being treated like she's stupid. And that's another thing I hate in books. I hate the, like, you don't know what you talking about trope where everyone decides not to believe you and think you're out of your mind, and they have reasons to not believe you, so we go around and you have to convince everyone you're telling the truth. I don't find that enjoyable. Like, we have to go to every single person and be like, so I think I saw somebody get murdered, and they're like, no, you didn't, girl. You're on antidepressants, you're paranoid, you're da-da-da-da, you were drinking, and we're just like, okay, and like, probably she did see it perfectly as it was, or maybe she's the one doing it, who knows? Like, it creates a bunch of time, and it creates a bunch of scenarios, and none of them interesting to me. And that's what this book is also doing. So this book is just filling up with tropes I do not enjoy. But that does not mean I'm not enjoying the book necessarily. I'm just not into it. Like, this is not going to be a 5-star read. Like, it's just simply not going to be a 5-star read. At this point, I'm just reading it to get the story. Other than that, I'm not really gagged. Anyways, I'm gonna finish this and then I will come and talk to you guys later. Hello, you guys. I am here to come with my last and final thoughts on The Woman in Cabin 10. Honestly, reading this book was an absolute waste of my time. This book, I do not think it's good. It is really ridiculous. To know me is to know that I do not enjoy ridiculous thrillers. I don't like thrillers that are implausible, thrillers that almost like spiral out of control, where you have to suspend a lot of disbelief to believe they could be true. And that was this thriller. It got cheesy. It just stopped being interesting in any way. We get introduced to a bunch of characters, and these characters don't even really matter in the end to what's going on. It was just silly. The perfect word I can describe this book as is really, really silly. It wasn't what I expected going in, which I'm not mad about, but still, it could have been executed better. I just think this is a really clunky outing for Ruth Ware, and that's the last word I would use to describe the other two novels that I read in this video. So I did not enjoy this. I'm going to give this 2 out of 5 stars. Not for me. This is my least favorite Ruth Ware that I have read. So there's that on that. So we read 3 books in this video. I am okay with saying that I will be reading more Ruth Ware in the future. I own 2 more Ruth Ware books. The Death of Miss Westaway and The Turn of the Key. It took me like a week and a half to read these 3 books, so I couldn't get to them in these videos, but I will be reading them. I've let these Ruth Ware books sit on my bookshelf, all 5 of these, on my bookshelf for forever because I didn't know if Ruth Ware was the author for me, but now I know I can read them, so I feel comfortable anytime I'm in a thrillery mood, I will pick these up, which is something I couldn't say before I did this video, so that feels good. I will be getting to those, maybe even before the end of the year, I hope. We'll see. So my favorite book that we read in this video was The It Girl. I really enjoyed this. 4.5 out of 5 stars. Every time I was reading The Woman in Cabin 10, I wish I was back reading this book. This book is long, but I think it's worth the ride. I think it has an interesting mystery. This book to me is a full-blown mystery novel. It is not thriller. I think that's what you can say about all of Ruth Ware's books, except maybe One by One. One by One falls more in the thriller category. Let me get One by One. I mentioned One by One like 18 times in this video. This is One by One by Ruth Ware. I think this book is the most thrillery of Ruth Ware. So if you want something like that, this is what you could read. It takes place on an actual mountain and there's snow, unlike The Woman in Cabin 10. But this would be my favorite Ruth Ware of all of Ruth Ware. I really enjoyed this book. This is the reason why I am going to read 0 Days. I will try to get my hands on 0 Days if I can get it discounted. Yeah, so It Girl, I really enjoyed. I think more people should like reach for. I know a lot of people didn't like it last year, but if you find yourself enjoying the thrillers that I usually enjoy, I would pick that one up. The next one is The Lying Game. I really enjoyed this too. I enjoyed the boarding school aspect. I'm hit or miss about stories that take place at boarding schools because I kind of learned that I don't like dark academia. And like boarding school stories can sometimes lean into the locker room thriller category, and I don't like locked room thrillers. So I'm hit or miss on boarding schools, but this one worked for me. The mystery worked for me. What I really enjoyed the most about this book was the characters. I thought we had really good characters, but I do feel like this book kind of stretched on further and further and longer than it should. So in the end, I give it 3.5 out of 5 stars, but that 3 could lean a 4. I enjoyed this. If you have this on your bookshelf and you've been wondering, like, has the time passed to pick this up, I would still read it. It still holds up, and you can't say that about a lot of thrillers that are that have come out like in 5, 6, 7 years ago. A lot of them don't be holding up after a while, but this does. And then The Woman in Cabin 10, that's all I can say. The Woman in Cabin 10, I don't got nothing for that. But anyways, that is the end of this video. I will see you guys in the next one. I don't have anything else to say. And yeah, happy Halloween, you guys. Peace.